Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janata Jaya Gopi Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, संवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, कार्तिक मास महामहोत्सव की जय, इसाई गौर स्वामी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमः श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So first of all, I just welcome all the devotees and please accept my humble obeisances. So today the devotees, they have given me this service. So I will try my best to just repeat whatever I am hearing from the devotees and whatever reading from Srila Prabhupada's scriptures. So although completely unqualified, but the matter of service. So I will try my best, and I keep always the class open if anywhere any devotees they feel which will be for the good of all the assembled devotees. So you can add that or at the end also. So ultimately our purpose is to understand the purport of the verse, what it is saying, and together only we have to help each other on our this path. So I thank all the devotees again who gave me this service. So today we are continuing from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 10 and verse number 19 today. So we'll recite the verse, and then I will request devotees if they can also repeat. So this is how Srila Prabhupada he taught us. To learn the Sanskrit slowly, it comes by reading these verses. It comes in our practice. So we can attempt here like we are together like on same level like where we can put the attempt and learn the Sanskrit words and the verses which we have to always we have to read it, and every day it should be in our practice reading these scriptures. So it is Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 10, the opulences of the Absolute, and verse number 19. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Antate Kathasyami Divyaya Atma Vibhutayah Pradhanyatah Purushrestah नास्त्यांतो विस्तरस्य मे श्रीभगवानुवाच हन्तते कथयिष्यामि दिव्यायात्मविभूतयः प्राधान्यतः कुरुश्रेष्ठ नास्त्यन्तो विस्तरस्य मे श्रीभगवानुवाच हन्तते कथयिष्यामि दिव्यायात्मविभूतयः प्राधान्यतः कुरुश्रेष्ठ नास्त्ययन्तो विस्तरस्य मे Mataji. Hare Krishna, word to word meaning. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha, the Supreme Personality of God had said, Hanta, yes, te, unto you, Kathayashyami, I shall speak, Divya, divine, he, certainly, Atma Vibhutayah, personal opulences, Pradhana, Pradhanyatah, which are principal, Purushrestha, O best of the Purus, Nasti, there is not, Anta, limit, Vistarasya, to the extent, me, my. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: The Supreme Personality of God had said, Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, uh, for my opulence is limitless. Purport: It is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus, the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The word pradhanyatah, principle, is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all, and Vibhuti, as used in this verse, refers to the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. In the Amar Cosh dictionary, it is stated that Vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord nor the manifestations of his divine energies. both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Now, Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man. Thus, part of his variegated energy is described in this way. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So again, I welcome all the devotees and beg for your blessings. So we can just repeat uh, the message which is coming through the parampara and from the Lord directly from Lord. So today the verse is like Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So before this we have seen the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita when uh, Arjuna he heard the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita from Lord, which are verse 8 to 11. Then he was so ecstatic and he was completely convinced. Means like when he began to speak on verse number 12 and 13, which are the verse together. So there we can see the way he is exhibiting his happiness and how he is convinced what Lord has told in the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. So one way Arjuna himself, he is completely convinced of what Lord himself told to him, and then he confirmed that the same thing he heard from the previous acharyas, and then he named there the Sri Vyasa Deva, Narada, Asita, Devala, and then the acharyas they say is like the Narad Muni, he is from the bhakti path, then the Vyasa Deva we can say from the Gyan Marga, and then the Asata and Devala they are from uh, the Karma Yoga. So like that he is telling everyone they glorified you the way you are now speaking to me. So this way, this is Arjuna's ecstasy. He revealed in these two verses, and then from there, how he is completely convinced and he accepted whatever the Lord said, and then he is telling in the next verse, which is verse number 14, like, "O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me." So this has to come to all of us. Whatever the word we hear from Lord Sri Krishna, Are we convinced of that or not? Even from the pure devotees of Lord, when anything they speaks, are we fully convinced, or we have, like we hears it and then we leave it? But when those words are either coming from the Lord, like here, or repeated by the pure devotees, we have to take them very seriously. Like Arjuna, he is completely convinced. So, Shraddha Sabde Vishwas Kahi Sudrida Nishchay, Krishne Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. So this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how the Shraddha, how it will be tested or will be known. Like whatever is about the Lord and whatever Lord is speaking, we should accept it as a complete truth, as Arjuna is teaching us here. So then he is saying, neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. So here he is telling even the demigods also cannot understand your personality. So definitely the asuras, they cannot understand, because their way of like all they goes to gain something, and it is like uh, prayers and shreyas. There are two way to just accept the scriptures or the injunctions. Like one is for our ultimate benefit, and one is prayers, means like which gives us the immediate sense enjoyment or satisfaction. So the asuras means like the tendency is like when the tendency is to immediately enjoy our senses. So that is the prayers, means like immediately we want something. But the prayers, it is like for our ultimate benefit. Like Arjuna, when he was speaking in the whole first chapter, and then he himself became like now what is right and what is wrong, or what is good for me or not. Then he tells, you tell me whatever is shreyas for me, what is for my ultimate benefit. And then the Lord, when he started speaking that onwards, so whatever Lord is speaking, so that all is for our shreya, for our ultimate benefit. So here, uh, Arjuna, if we see, he is, we say there is a Sabda Pramana, there is a Anuman Pramana, and there is a Pratyaksha Pramana. So here, Arjuna, he said, "O Krishna, I totally accept as truth as all that you have told me." So the Sabda Pramana, what I am hearing from you, I accept. And then it is said, like the Anumana means like after hearing from the devotees or taking from the scriptures, then we can meditate on that. So Anumana means like based on that circumference of what we heard or what we read from the scriptures, on that circumference, then we can meditate on that. So that will be the Anumana. Oh, if it is said in the scriptures, then it has to go like that. That is what our churning on that. We should churn within that limit. So this is what Arjuna here is teaching. Like Arjuna considered most authentic what he heard from Lord Sri Krishna. So out of that, he is accepting that. Then uh, so first we have to accept the authority, and then you will come to know. So this is a totally different. Like in general, the people they have like. If I will be convinced, then only I will follow. This is the general thinking of the people, or they goes that way. But if we think in our normal life, like how we grow from the childhood, when the small child is sent to school, so is he in the position like whatever the teacher is teaching, he is completely, like he will understand that, and then he will say, okay, I will move. No, in the beginning he has to accept the authority, and with the course of the time, then he will slowly know that. Or like if you want to become a good friend of someone, so you have to begin with means like uh, the day, means you cannot say on the first meet, if first I will understand everything of you and then only I will become a friend with you. It's not like that. Right? It takes time with the course of the time, then you becomes more or more close, and then when he speaks about him, and then you becomes like you grow on that relationship of the friendship. It's not like first everything you will know and then only it will never happen. So the same way here, it is first we have to accept the authority and then we have to move on. So this is how here he is teaching. So like here it is said, if we will try to understand first and then what will happen, the doubts will arise. The doubts will arise, and like here we always repeat, or we are told like the abhinatvan nam namino. There is no difference between the name and the Lord. He and his name is one only. So there is no logic on this. You cannot understand. If you grow with your practice of sadhana, then you will be convinced with the course of the time. But otherwise, who can make you convince of like the name and the Lord? He is one only. Not possible on the first hand. But when we move with the process, then slowly we are convinced. Slowly we will be convinced, and one day it will come where we will feel no, it is one only. Like in his Updeshavali, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, he said the same thing. He said this name, actually chanting the name and having the direct darshan of the Lord, both are same. There is no difference. So why he is telling that? Because of he is saying this name, if you with the full faith and sincerity, if you chant, so it is going to take you there only where there is no other result will be gained by this chanting other than directly having the darshan of the Lord. He said this both are non-different. So that is he is that convinced. But for us, no, I have never seen the Lord directly. But he is saying by chanting this holy name, it is going to give you that. It is ready. If you are there with the full faith, then it is going to take you there. So like that, it is here Arjuna is teaching us. First, we have to accept the authority, then move forward. So here he says the asura definitely they don't know because of they want to know first and then they will never know. But why he is saying here even the demigods? So here the acharyas they are saying it is for us to understand about the value of the thing which you are going to achieve. So it's not that means otherwise if this is not, we will say okay simply it is possible for everyone. But here they are making even for the demigod also it is not that easy. So it means he is telling us it is a very sincere subject, right? Where we have to be very sincere. Then only the demigods also will come to you. Otherwise, like he is saying this. So this is the verse number 14, where he said, and then in the 15 he say, indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potential. So other thing he is saying means like how much we can understand the Lord. Anyone means like how much he will reveal. That's the limit what we can understand. If he is not revealing, it is not by nowhere. It is mentioned like by this practice, or this is the way where 100% you can know more than the Lord to the Lord. No, how much he reveals to himself to his devotee, that you can know. So that is how Arjuna here he said, indeed you alone know yourself, and then whoever knows it is by his mercy only they knows. So O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings. So many things he is saying. O Supreme Person, then origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. so much he is glorifying the Lord. What can be the more nice glorification of the Lord, the way Arjuna as a pure devotee, when he is in front of the Lord, or whom like your worshipable deity in front of you, you will think of how I have to find more and more nice words, and maybe by that ecstasy or by that pure devotion, the words will come from automatically from your heart, by the mercy or by the empowerment of the Lord. Here we can see Arjuna in a flow, the way he is glorifying the Lord. So here this verse number 15, here one the word which is important is the first word only of the verse, which is Swayam Evatma Atmanam. Like you yourself only can know you. So so you only knows you. That's why Arjuna is asking to Lord to know about him. And for that it is here said the Bhagavad Gita is most important for us all the time. Because the Bhagavad Gita is only the scripture which is spoken by the Lord Himself. So here he is saying this Bhagavad Gita, we cannot leave it any moment of time or any time in our life. It is always has to be with us. So without Bhagavad Gita, it is not possible to understand Lord. Other than Bhagavad Gita, Lord is not a speaker. To know Lord in full, we have to understand through the Bhagavad Gita. Then there is a verse number 16 where Arjuna is saying, please tell me in detail uh, of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So this is Arjuna's request. Arjuna is requesting, like, see, when we are going to the Lord, we will say, just please tell me in 2 3 minutes. That's all. I don't have time because I have so many other engagements. That is what we are, right? But here Arjuna, what he is telling is, please tell me in detail. So we comes here with the mindset of we will sit for 1 hour. Maximum. It is 5 minutes more here and then we start seeing here and there. Is what like we are. But Arjuna he is telling, please tell me in detail. In detail, if you want to hear about the Lord, then it is always told like uh, the Ananta Sesa from the time immemorial. He with the unlimited mouths. He is glorifying, but it has not completed even. We don't know means what. Once I was hearing in one lecture, and the question was asked to His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, and the devotee said, Maharaj, like I heard from someone like the 35% of the glorification of the Lord, Ananta Sesa is completed. So Maharaj said, I never heard that, but the Lord is infinite, and the 35% of the infinity is how much I don't know. Like that, Maharaj he replied his question, like how we can understand that. So this is how the Arjuna is uh, telling in this verse number uh, 16. So here why he is telling this? So it is mentioned two reasons. One for others' benefit, and the devotee always relishes the pastimes of the Lord. And this is coming in today's purport also. So Arjuna, although he is completely convinced, he accepted you are the supreme personality of Godhead. He in the verse number 12 and 13, he accepted. But is that only the end? The like Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha, like always hearing that, like in verse number 18, I think the verse Srila Prabhupada has given in his purport is Vayam tuna vitrapyama uttama sloka vikrame yas sravanatam rasa jnanam swadu swadu padhe padhe. So this is what we have to anchor for, or that will be the goal. Like when always we want to hear more and more about the Lord. So this is like one is definitely for the here Arjuna, he has taken the role of a common man. So he knows the situation of the general conditioned soul. So he is asking the questions or desiring that from the Lord, like which will benefit more than him. He is a parcel of the Lord, but to the people who are like ignorant of their own identity. So this is what he said. So uh, he has tasted, so he has tasted to hear about Lord. He got that taste. He want to hear more and more. So Arjuna is teaching topics about Lord are ever fresh. Arjuna got inspiration from Lord to hear more of him. Right. So this is how he heard from the Lord, and then he is inspired to hear more and more. So definitely all these are teachings for ourselves. Like every day we have to either read or hear whenever we have time. So smartabhyo satatam Vishnu vismartabhyo na jatu. So all the times by one or other mean we have to remain Krishna consciousness. So this is Arjuna here is teaching. And then on the verse number 17, it is O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of God? So this is now uh, he want always to be Krishna consciousness, and for that it is said for the devotee, materially he is fearless. He has no material fear. नहीं मारावी राखवी जो अच्छा तुहार नित्य दास प्रति तुया अधिकार. Everything he is surrendered, right? But he is afraid of if he loses his Krishna consciousness. So there is a material fear is going, but the spiritual fear is increasing. If that is not increasing, and we are thinking, oh, I am now some way I achieved something, so it is wrong with us. We should be always fearful. If the devotee association is not there, if this Bhagavad Gita and that if this is not there, what next? In the morning, if you get up and you know that there are no devotee with me, and like alone, I cannot understand what is the hope. So that fear should increase, and that what we can see from the gopis even when they are with the Lord. So it is said the gopis how they are that pure devotee of the Lord. So when Krishna is not with them, and they are seeing the cloud or the blue sky. So because of the Lord's like a beauty is like the cloud in the sky. So they say, oh, Krishna is with us because by seeing the clouds. And when Krishna is with them and he is dancing and they are crying, they start crying. So what happened? Oh, he is with us, but if he just like because away, then what will happen? They start crying. So that is how the gopis even they are teaching from uh, their devotion. Like it's so we should have that fear in us anytime it is. So that's why he is asking so many questions here in this verse number 17, and then verse number 18. It is O Janardana. Again, please describe in detail. Verse number 18. So, if you got taste in hearing, Krishna will give the intelligence, Dharami Buddhi Yogam Tam. So then you wants to know more, looks press. It is like the term is used Purva Rag. So Purva Rag is like whenever she goes to meet Lord Sri Krishna, she asks the friends, Gopi friends, who is this boy? So every time she sees the Lord, she see like she is seeing first time. That is the Purvara. So that like the Lord, his glories, his beauty, everything, every moment is it increasing only. So if you saw him 5 minutes before and you say I saw, no, after 5 minutes he may be different for you. If you have really that vision or you are on that level, then you will see he is not the same which I saw 5 minutes before. So that is how Srimati Radharani she teaches. That is the Purvara. So that's why the devotees, they want always to hear more and more about the Lord or to serve Him. So this is this verse number 18, and then today's verse number 19 is so nice. Like uh, Arjuna, he asked, like again, please describe in detail. And Lord started saying, and he is saying, no, I will tell only two things. So it is becoming like in a two, at least two three verses, he desired, like, I want to hear more. But Krishna, he replied, Arjuna, no, I will only tell few. So what is the reason of like Lord, he is saying this? So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he mentioned in his Tika. So he's saying the Lord want to tell to us, like, how it is possible for us to understand everything of the Lord. You may need millions of births to know. Maybe millions of births also not sufficient. So the Lord, that's the reason here Lord is saying, I will tell you about few of that. I will not, I'm not going to tell, I am a dust particle also, or my energy is there in the dust particle, or I am the leaf of the tree, or I am the twig, or I am the branch, or I'm not going to tell you in detail. Otherwise, everything, it is me only, right? But how it is possible to tell that also? I will tell you the few of that which are my opulences, and then he will start speaking from the next coming verses. Uh, so here uh, we start seeing Srila Prabhupada purport. So, so Lord, He said, my opulences are limitless. So last chapter, chapter number 9. So there and up to this Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, already we have relishes the nectar of the pure devotion of the Lord, and suddenly here then the opulences. One way the devotees, they are not much concerned about the opulences of the Lord, because we want to relish the rasa. But these two chapters, which are so important in Bhagavad Gita, on that also, after speaking uh, so much about his all personal, like about himself, then here he started speaking about the opulences. So I was just thinking of when I was just going through of this verse. So opulences, why these are required to know. So here it is very important for us to understand, like without knowing all this, the power and all what the Lord, how he is running this universe, and how everything is moving perfectly, and that all. So if directly we want to relish only the madhurya of the Lord, so it's not possible. It will become like a sahajiyas. It will become that. But if you know the power of that person, everything of which is like which is unparalleled, and then you know about his sweetness also, then only you can relish it, right? He is not only the powerful, but he is the sweet also. But if he is not a powerful, then sweet maybe sometimes, like, because he is not having anything, he is like that only. Then the people will say he is like he speaks only the thing, but what he is having, right? And then like it is, when I was preparing, I was thinking of, like when there is a marriage match. So that time, I think the first thing will be how, what is the, like the person working, right? If he is a graduate engineer or like a manager somewhere or a very big businessman. That will be the first thing of seen, right? But once they are married and then they are only calculating the money, then it is something wrong, right? Then that is like ultimately where the relationship will land if you have that sweetness between the relation. Then like whatever the power of that person or whatever the money and that all that will become secondary. If that is always the prominent, then the relationship will not go, right? It will not move forward. Always he is showing like that, like he is a big man and that all in the family also he is acting like that, then it will never go. But it is important. In the beginning, that is required, right? The beginning it is required. If he is not working, he is not doing anything, whatever sweet he is or whatever good he is, who will go? Who will go? So how like the opulences and that greatness should lead to the sweetness. So these are not ill to each other, but these are this greatness is like a completing that sweetness. Then only you can relish the sweetness of that person, such a big person. Like we are hearing now, few days back we lost the Ratan Tata, right? That so the whole country was crying. Who associated with so many people were coming about him for so many things. Why? Not because of he was a rich man. There are so many rich men, but his personal life that that will be more considered than the his richness. So this is how here uh, Arjuna he is requesting Lord, and then Srila Prabhupada how he is writing his purport we will read. Uh, it is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. So this is how Srila Prabhupada he is mentioning everything we cannot comprehend. So the senses of the individual soul are limited. So, but definitely these becomes atindriya. It is used one word in Bhagavad Gita. It is atindriya means like when we engage ourselves. So this purified senses, how much the Lord wants that you can perceive by mercy of the Lord. So slowly we have to purify, and the more and more we observe ourselves in the process, then more you can understand. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. So this is if it is the Lord is limited within our understanding, then He will be not the Lord. Now we will see in this Damodar month, if we see verse number 10, 9, 13 and 14. Very nice verses. न चांतर न बहिर्यस्य न पूर्वम नापि चापरम पूर्वा अपरम बहिश्चांतर जगतो यो जगच्चय त्वं मत्वात्मजम अव्यक्तम मर्त्यलिंगम अधोक्षजम गोपिका उलूखले दामना बबंद प्राकृतम यथा. Right? You got Prabhuji? So can you read that?
Translation of three personality of Godhead has no beginning and no end, no exterior and no interior, no front and no rear. In other words, he is all pervasive because he is not under the influence of the element of time. For him, there is no difference between past, present, and future. He exists in his own transcendental form at all times. Being absolute beyond relativity, he is free from distinction between cause and effect. Although he is the cause and effect of everything, that unmanifested person who is beyond the perception of the senses had now appeared as a human child and Mother Yashoda, considering him her own ordinary child, bounding to the wooden water itself.
So his soul is all the opposite. He is you cannot fix anything about the Lord. If you fix na chantar na bahiryasya. You cannot say he is here and he is not outside, or he was not before, he is not now, or he will be not there. Everything of that. And then also, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya, he says, if here it is like Mother Yasoda could not bind him, then it would be a one condition for the Lord. No, he cannot be caught by anyone. So that becomes one condition. So there is not any condition you can put to the Lord. Then only He is the Lord. That is how for Him it is like you cannot fix anything. Right? He is smaller than the small, and He is the bigger than the biggest, and whatever you think, He is beyond that. He is beyond that. In any, then only He is the Lord. If He comes in a limit of our understanding, then He cannot be the. So, in that understanding, we know what the limit we can understand, right? How much he reveals, that is only we can understand him. So, still the devotees try to understand Krishna. Definitely means this is their life and everything of the devotees. They want to know about the Krishna. They don't want to understand about any other things, right? If we are not understanding by our whole effort also, then also it is a gain only. At least we invested our energy on understanding Him. What is the loss? But if you are trying to understand everything else, what do you gain? What is the gain on that, right? So the devotees, if they understand, not understand also, then also they are happy on that. They knows the our limits and they knows Krishna both, and they always they continue with the same service. So thus the devotees enjoy. Sorry here. Uh, So no one can understand Krishna fully and any specific time or any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. So everything, the topics of the Lord. So here I was remembering there is a very nice bhajan by Vallabhacharya ji, right? Adharam Maduram, Vadanam Maduram, Nayanam Maduram, हसितम मधुरम हृदय मधुरम गमनम मधुरम मधुराधिपते akhilam maduram. So the whole verse is saying everything of the Lord is madhuram. So the devotees they can see on the like his power also they are seeing his beauty on. So he ends that bhajan with the Gopa Madhura, Gao Madhura, Yashtir Madhura, Srishtir Madhura, Dalitam Madhuram, Phalitam Madhuram, Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhuram. Like that, he's the whole of the bhajan is like a Madhuram. So everything what he is seeing definitely has the relation with the Lord, and whatever he see that is Madhuram. Like Yashtir Madhura, Srishtir Madhura. His Srishti also Madhura. So like that he gives in that bhajan. So in discussing Krishna's opulence and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. So this is their like life, like they takes that pleasure on that. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand them, the extent of his opulence. He therefore agrees to state only principle. That is how Krishna he said. Then the second reason Srila Prabhupada is giving in the next para, where he is saying the impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord, not the manifestations of his divine energies. So Arjuna has two purposes. This is also one of his purpose. Why he is telling? Because here Srila Prabhupada ended his purport even. Like now Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man. So he came from that for the devotees, it is the relishment, and for the for the common people, it is like they will be like inspired or attracted by the opulences of the Lord. So by one act, the Krishna he fulfills everything. It's not he has to separately do so many things for different people. This is how Lord is. He does one thing and he does the thing for everyone in one thing. It's like he's not doing separately for everyone. So this is like so both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are described in every variety of manifestations. So these are how Lord Sri Krishna his energies are working, and here Lord Sri Krishna he is going to describe few of his opulences, which as he is mentioning here in the verse, like which are directly perceived by the common people. So it means he is talking of something which we can see from our this blunt eyes, and by that also Lord is saying means they will be attracted and then slowly they will grow. But if one understanding is that like what we are seeing here, but then uh, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Maharaj, he said even this material world, which is one third of the Lord's creation, he said how many Brahmandas are there in this material world. So he gave example of one bag full of the mustard seeds. So those many of the Brahmandas are there in this material world. And here in this material world, there are 14 planetary systems, and uh, from that we are in this Bhuloka, and in this Bhuloka also the Lord is describing only inside the one mustard seed. What will be the size of what we will like understand the Lord from one hill or one like of the lion or of this all. So it is for the common man, and for the devotees it is like from this ultimately the Lord what he is saying is because he pervades everything, so for the people it will help them to like progress in the service. So for that reason, but for us our like the devotees, uh, our acharyas they say for us how we can meditate, like for the common people this is like they will be attracted that, but for the devotees they see whatever they see. So they see the Lord's presence there. नहीं अस्थावर जंगम देखे ना देखे तार मूर्ति सर्वत्र है निज ईष्ट देव स्फूर्ति. So the devotees they don't see like it is a moving or non-moving. This is this. So they don't see that way. They see the Lord there like a Parikshit Maharaj. Wherever he is seeing, whatever he is seeing, he is saying he is the same Lord or not. So he is searching for that. The same way the devotees, they whatever they see in relation, Rasomapsa Kaunteya, yeah, whatever way we go that, so they see the Lord there. But the devotees, they are fixed, and this is their goal, like to see the Lord's presence everywhere. And for that, if we see there is a very nice bhajan given by Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahasaya for the devotees. For the devotees, how like by seeing the things which are directly in relation with the Lord, if we meditate on that, then we can keep ourselves closer to the Lord. So in that bhajan he says Radha Kund Tat Kunj Kutir गोवर्धन पर्वत यामुन तीर कुसुम सरोवर मानस गंगा कलिंद नंदनी विपुल तरंगा. वंशीवट गोकुल धीर समीर वृंदावन तरु लातिका वाणी खग मृग कुल मलय बातास मयूर भ्रमर मुरली विलास खग मृग खग मृग कुल मलय sorry I'm missing that. So that way he is just glorifying, he is meditating on that, and he ends that uh, uh, ये सब छाड़त नहीं जाऊं, ये सब छाड़त प्राण हराऊं, भक्ति विनोद कहे सुन कान, तुया उद्दीपक आमारक। So if I will forget this, then I will leave my life. So whatever makes me remember of you, that are my life and soul. So these all the places when we are visiting these all the places, dham, everywhere. So the one reason is that we should remember like all those places, and then what it will give us, it will give us the remembrance of the Lord. This was the place where I visited. This pastime was performed by the Lord. There, this was the pastime, and like that, this becomes, for us, it is like we are going to now understand so many opulences of the Lord. But as a devotee, for us, our acharyas, they have even condensed, and they said, no, what should be our meditation, right? So these are like in this verse, and if we want to understand like about the opulences of the Lord. So as we are trying, our purpose only is like this uh, will take us to the madhurya of the Lord. We are not like to either become like an expert on understanding something. This is not our purpose, or our purpose is not like to be attracted only by these all the things. Ultimately, these all are a very fragmental, like power of the Lord, which has, if in the totality of the Lord, if we think of that, it has even no value of that. But still, it will help certain people, and that's what how Vishnu Sahasranam, how it begins. The very first name is Vishwam or Vishwa, right? So so Vishwam. So this is the very first name given in Vishnu Sahasranam. So who is this person whom we are worshipping every day? Right? This the question comes. So the universe, or who pervades everything. So by name Vishwa, we may think Vishnu or Krishna, who pervades everywhere. So everything is same, right? So we will think means this is Krishna. I know I am seeing. So because of he pervades everywhere. So uh, this is Krishna. Like but we should not take like that, like because he pervades everything, so everything I am there and I am not there, right? So because of it is a very minute portion of his energies, uh, so that you cannot consider uh, that which is separated also from the Lord, and you cannot even consider that is the Lord. So this happens only with the Lord Sri Krishna, which is always like called Virodhabhas. You cannot fix. For the Lord, anything cannot be fixed. So here he says, so how this can be understood? So Sri Vaishnava, their understanding is Vishwa means who is complete in all respects. So the Lord is nature is always complete. His glories, qualities, is that is his inherent nature. So for us, we may develop something, right? Some devotees who are really serious by mercy of Krishna or by their dedication, they may achieve some qualities like that. We cannot think of the Lord. He is all the time, he is complete in all respects. So this is how the Vishwam, they understand that. So his qualities, undiminishing nature, not got his qualities by any sadhana. Right? So that is Lord. So he is eternally complete. So Krishna is the universe. Vishwa mean not one Brahmanda. Actually, universe we say so. Uni means one. So, but the Shastra says there are many Brahmanda, and beyond it there is a spiritual universe. So, Krishna is the substance principle of everything. So, this way he may be called Vishwa. So there is a portion of Mahabharata which is called Moksha Dharma. So there it is stated that Bhagwan is called Vishwa because he enters in all the worlds. Everywhere he enters. And in the Purusha Sukta, second canto, it is mentioned all the elements and demigods enters in the universe, but they did not come to life until Vishnu enters. Right. So this is how Vishwam, like he has to be everywhere. Whatever the function is happening anywhere like that, it means Krishna's presence is there. So until he was not entered, nothing was functioning. When he enters, then only everything started functioning. Right. So this is how the Lord he is a Vishwam, but again he enters with his some energies like in Upanishad it is that verse natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate natat samasya adhikascha drishyate uh, adhikascha drishya parasya shaktir vividava श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञान बल क्रिया न तत्समश्च adhikascha drishyate no none of anything is equal to him or above him and natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Nothing is for him to do, but all his energies, parasya saktir, his parasakti, his spiritual energies, how they are working, parasya saktir vivideva, so at one time they are functioning in a different way, and the Lord he is playing with his Gopa friends, he is doing his pastimes, and everything is arranged by his energies, by his order. So this is then so one name of Lord, another name is Vishwatma. So that is also I think it will be in Vishnu Sahasranam again. So he is the life of the universe, and in that sense he is the universe because he is the life of that. So in Bhagavad Gita also Lord says everything is with him, within him, and still he is separated. This is so many places Lord is establishing this logic or his powers. Uh, Either it is even Chatursloki Bhagavad Gita, the first verse is like that. Then the very first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam is like that. Chatursloki Bhagavatam, there also Lord is mentioning that. So for us, like we have to ultimately the purpose of understanding whatever the opulences further we are going to hear or to understand. So we have to understand that if these are the glories of the Lord, then altogether, uh, like how uh, the beauty and that opulences or the power of the Lord, which how we can measure, that it is beyond our limit of understanding that by like these opulences which the Lord is going to describe here, if that itself we try to understand in full with the devotional perspective, then we can think of like that is the Lord, his powers. So that is the purpose of even for the devotees. And uh, even after finishing, Lord is describing all his opulences, and then he ends. I think last two verse. Lord is concluding like know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but I speak of my splendor. Then the last verse, Lord is saying, but what need is there, Arjuna, for all the detailed knowledge? He answers that why it is required to know this all with a single fragment of myself I pervade and support this entire universe. So that is how, but it would have Lord answered uh, in a question which was asked by, or the request which was done by Arjuna in verse number 18. O Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. So Lord would have answered here itself like why you need that. But Lord described some, and at the end he said why it is needed even. So it means like the Lord, He there as we should understand that there are a different jivas. Everything of whatever the scripture says, uh, it helps some jiva in some way, and without even understanding this all the opulences, you cannot enter to the sweetness of the Lord. So for that I will read little and then we will stop here. So it is said the sweetness can control even the power. Right? We are trying to understand here the power of the Lord, but the sweetness is more important for us. Uh, we should move forward with that. Like I am going to understand the sweetness or to accept the sweetness of whatever is with the Lord. Everything is madhuram. Why? Because I am trying to understand that Lord who is the most powerful. Right. So Lord don't want to leave anything for anyone like without someone may say okay you are that, but you know that other person is sweet also but he is powerful also, right? So you may get that time okay, I was only behind this sweetness but I know that other person is a great also. So here when we glorify the Lord and we meditate on his sweetness, so we will be convinced like he is the most grateful of a great person also, right? So by that our conviction and our service we can dedicate with the conviction, right? There is nothing else which can shake us. After knowing that all, then only the meditation will how I can serve him now with my capacity. And that will happen when we will know everything of him. Right? So this is the purpose here. The Lord he is saying. So Krishna's sweetness is more observing than his power. So how to observe? So in remembering him. So we should know how powerful he is and how sweet he is. Both we should know how powerful and how sweet. So the more we know, the more we will be attracted to him. The more you are attracted, then more you are observed. Right. So this is the purpose of this. these words of Bhagavad Gita are directly spoken by the Lord. So these has so much, so much, like power, or these are like which even a single word of the Lord which he is speaking from his lotus mouth are like so much for the conditioned soul. Each of that word of the Lord will take us close to Him and will remove all our this anarthas from this where we are struggling here. So everything whatever is like we have to take it in that way. So this is how here in this verse Lord is going to begin here. It was Lord like in this verse, Lord just spoke only that much. The Supreme Personality of God had said, "Yes, I will tell you." So we are going to hear that. I will tell you my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. So this is like by mercy of Lord, we are going to hear that. So I will stop here. Time is also getting over. So Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for all the devotees attending and hearing for so long. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, so you were mentioning about so many different qualities about, and they seem very different from birth, different things. As soon as they hear the qualities about, they completely get it. They, the tears used to fall from their eyes. They used to shiver, they used to tremble, they used to fall in love with the Lord, they used to get into it. But even after hearing so many times the glorification of Lord and the different objects of the Lord, why aren't we getting any kind of faith or any kind of attachment to the Lord? This time will help us with me others.
Yes, Suji. What I heard of like once His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So he was in Radhakund and he was discussing Upanishad for so long, for few days. And the Babajis which were in Radhakund, they were saying, what happened to him? Here, like he is supposed to discuss about the pastimes of Radha Krishna and that all. So he said, like whoever, without understanding this all the greatness and the totality of the Lord. So if someone is doing only exhibiting that, so Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, in one statement, he said, like I have not seen any pure devotee in a whole Vrindavan. Although the people they are sometimes rolling on the ground, they are crying and this all. But is that like the symptom of the pure devotee? Is only that? No, it is like how like your detachment from this material world. Right? These are the symptoms like anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshasya iti viswaso, bhokta all scientific, right, Prabhuji? Anyone is crying, like after 2 minutes, you will see he's drinking tea. So it's not that the symptoms of like why I'm not getting. Like if we are suffering in this material world for so many lifetimes, why? Because of we all have the anarthas. And even every one of like the jiva who fell in this material world, So he is having that. If he is not removing that with the pure devotion, with the pure process, then some people there are so many like who directly adopts so many ways like where externally it will be seen, but then you have to see their life also. And where the pure devotees, they never exhibited that like they are in that pure devotion. Was Srila Prabhupada, one or twice I think it happened like when he was in a Vyasasana and the tear closed and he stopped. Like the pure devotees, they will never exhibit because of there are so many type of the people. Someone may start like putting something in the eyes and then he will also sit there and he will cry. Prabhu, I saw you are crying, then I also getting crying. No, this is it has to come with the symptoms which will be seen in the person. It is natural. It will be without your knowledge that will happen. It will not happen by thinking of why and that all. The process will give us, and when it will happen to that devotee who is really dedicated, it will come with that. So we have to be very much convinced and fixed in the process, and this process is going to take us there. If we are still struggling and that is not happening, accept that we have lot of anarthas, and this process is working for sure. This process is working and is going to lead us to that end. So for us, really, whatever we are progressing, even a very small step, we are fixed on that next step very much. This is our acharyas they have given us. So we should not be, like bewildered by seeing so many things here and there. We have to be.
I meant when you have so many wonderful things from, as soon as they hear the opulence of Lord, they completely get engrossed.
Yes.
They completely get uh, attracted towards the Lord.
Yes.
So my question was, why am I not getting it? So the answer is there are too many anarthas.
For us means
And,
like
and for us to move forward, we have to just keep getting more and
yes,
more.
yes,
That will help. And also,
because they are convinced. Once here, His Holiness Bhakti Saraswami Maharaj, when he was here, he said, after 40 years, now I am that convinced, like which cannot shake my faith even in a small way. Like Lord Sri Krishna, He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'm completely convinced. That will come with like a lot of our sadhana practice and mercy of the Lord. So many our services. This all will give us. So this will come in a course of time. It will come.
do one more thing when it comes to faith. The other day also we have heard about faith. Hanumanji, he represents faith, Shraddha. Sometimes we get bewildered if we are going through a rough phase in our life. And then if we don't get that real faith, we try to act that, I trust you, Lord, and please help me.
Still, that is good. Still, it is good. I'm telling you. Still, it is good. Better than just completely losing your faith. Acting on Krishna consciousness is also beneficial. I'm telling you. Acting than any other thing. Or sometimes we may only act. The portion of that will come in our nature and we will progress on.
Yeah, Yasomathi. And so you nicely explained to me about the understanding of the Lord is guided by Krishna of the infinite. So
My relationship would be like please guide me. You already told me means I also told as 1.4. We are made up of material energy. We are the Vina Prakriti, our Jivatma is powered by this material energy, and we are marginal energy. So by using this 1/10,000 of the as size, understanding about large size is meaningless and it is impossible. It is very practical. I believe. So, as I said, Lord is powerful and sweetness. So, better we, instead of going for the understanding, we know this understanding side, it is better to go with the sweet side. So, just we can dance and we can enjoy the stuff and then we will go ahead. It's correct.
Yeah, but maybe it will remain on the platform of like what we say is bhavukta, right? One is bhav and one is bhavukta. Like we are emotional because if it is about the Lord, as Prabhu said, the test will be when we have a difficult time in our life. That time, whatever we are accepting it blindly will be tested that time. And definitely in our life, Lord is going to test us. It's not like without the test He will promote us. He's not going to promote. So for that, we have to understand everything of the Lord, everything of our situation, and with the process only, like we have to balance off, like we cannot, until and unless I will be not convinced, I will not take the Krishna prasadam. It's not like that. We have to take that part, and whatever, see, that's why our acharyas or our parampara has given us in a way, like where from the day one, as a conditioned soul, without bewilderment we can progress. So they have given, they designed the way, like where you will be progressing only, and with the course of that, you will be convinced also. So you see, like how Srila Prabhupada sometimes, all the the portion of the philosophy goes both the way. Like we have to understand the tattva and we have to understand the rasa also. We cannot leave any one of that. We cannot leave any one of the tattva. If we are leaving the tattva and only the rasa, it will take us we are only the emotional, and if we will only take the tattva, then it will be a dry speculations. It will lead us. So both has to go parallel. Then it will lead us in the purpose.
Thank you, Nandan.
You can ask me in car also. So we can discuss there personally.
I just want to say that the class we have started with the prayers. So then you have given a very wonderful example of marriage. That during the marriage, the match, then we see all the categories how the personal education, qualification, work, there's all matches. That you mentioned that then if it is fixed in that after the marriage it has to progress from the greatness to the sweetness. Very wonderfully connected with how the Lord is greatness. What you also mentioned at the end of this chapter, Krishna is saying what is the need to understand for all the opulences. So you connected that this greatness, understanding the greatness of Lord, it has to lead to the sweetness of the very wonderfully explained. My question is, you have mentioned that it is prayers and prayers. Most of the time, Mr. Jiva, we tend to go for the prayer condition for immediate sense gratification. How we have to move from this prayers to prayers. please enlighten us.
Yeah. So this is how probably like Srila Prabhupada in the beginning only he just said us the four regulative principles, right, Prabhuji? We have to follow that the four regulative principles. So lot of our conditioning is taken care by following this. And if these four regulative principles are really followed, then we should not be even afraid because of it is in Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, chapter 17, verse number 24 and 38. If we can read that, then we can understand like you are taken care of this. Like the prayers, these things really means like taking the Krishna Prasad, even you can enjoy that with the full extent, and still you will be not caught on those like who are like attracted, or the tongue is not controlled with the food and that all. But for the Krishna Prasad, like Srila Prabhupada in one answer of what is Krishna consciousness, and Srila Prabhupada answered it is like purifying the desires, and then for some people even the desire itself is a problem, right? For some people it is like enjoying like a food. For them that is like the obstacle or the problem. But for us as a devotees, even enjoying the prasadam, Lord Chaitanya, he said, "Oh, what a tasty prasadam it is." He said, "Definitely it would have tasted by Lord. That's why it is so tasty." So for us, it is not consuming us. So that's what I told Prabhuji. If we see this our process which is given by our acharyas, by knowingly or unknowingly, it is perfect. And these two verses where these are saying the even the kali cannot impact abhyartitas tada tasmai sthanani kalaye dadau dyotam panam striya suna yatra adharmas chaturvida. So where these four things are happening, there only the kali is reciting. And if you are away from that, wherever you live, whatever you you are away from the control of the kali and of this. So this is how our prayers will be taken care if we take care of the instructions of the devotees of our spiritual master or the parampara. Then they are taking care of our all these things.
Thank you for the amazing insight. I have one small question. You had mentioned in the beginning of the lecture about Brahman. Can you elaborate on the Shabda Brahman and need little elaboration on that?
Because our philosophy, it is said to us, there are three ways to understanding any subject. So one is like Anuman, you just take some assumption and then you say it is maybe like that. Like you see uh, like something far and it is a rope. What are you saying? Maybe it is a snake, right? So that is the Anumana because of you saw from some far, or you saw some fire somewhere, or Srila Prabhupada has given the example of the train when it is very far. So you are seeing only the light. So you say it is a light. When it is coming little closer, then you will say, oh, it is a train. And when it is coming just standing in front of you, then you say, oh, there are so many passengers also. Right, Pooji? So one is that Anuman is like that. Something we are seeing and we are. Then the Pratyaksha is like with our own capacity, we are trying to understand, but with our limitations of our this material senses, so we cannot understand that the subjects which are beyond of this material world. There is a verse in Mahabharata, Achintya khalu ye bhava na tans tarken yojayi. because of these subject matters are spiritual. So that's why with the material discussions, these cannot be understood. So the pratyaksha, whatever we are seeing or whatever we think of, it will be by my own understanding. With the due course, I will understand. No, it will not happen. So how it will be got by the Sabd Pramana? Sabd means like the words of the Lord or of the acharyas who were empowered by the Lord. They were empowered by the Lord, and they speaks only what they got the realization by the that empowerment of the Lord. So that's why the Sabda Pramana is our scriptures, and then the scriptures also are like a deep cave, like where you enter on the darkness, you cannot see anything. So that also we have to get Mahajano Yen Gatha Sapam. So with the understanding of our acharyas, because if we see the Sadhguru Swami Astakam, so in that it is Nana Shastra Vicharanaya Nipunam Sadharma Sanstapakam Lokanam Hitkarinam Tirubhuvane Manyo Saranam. Because Nana Shastra Vicharanaya, everything they turned for us, everything they did for us, and then they are just giving us, which is the essence of everything, and they did all the work for us, our acharyas. Then here. So that's why the Sabda Praman, that also is like again it comes, there is a verse like Srimad Bhagavata Artha Nam Asadyo Rasikesa Sajatiya Asaya Snigde Sadhu Sangha Swatavara. So that is like Srimad Bhagavata Artha Nam Aswadyo Rasikesa. So we have to associate with the like-minded devotees also. Otherwise, also it is going to have the problem. So this Sabda Pramana also we have to together with the like-minded devotees, like we are in the same parampara, we have to go with the understanding of the parampara, and we have to have the full faith. Like in 10 offenses, right? That is, I think, the fourth offenses where Vedic Shastra एवं प्रमाणों का खंडन करना या अपमान. Any word of the Vedas, if we feel, I don't think it is like that. It means we are committing the offense. So everything is there, but maybe it is not related to me as a devotee, but it is more than what is benefiting me, a certain portion of the scripture. The same way, this portion of the scripture, which is not related to me or not in my understanding, definitely it is helping to someone other in the same way like a portion of the scripture is helping me. So that faith we should have on the words of the scriptures, on the words of the Lord. So this is Sabda Pramana. That is Sabda Pramana, which is the scriptures, which is directly coming from the Lord. And then there is a Pratyaksh Pramana, which we think from our own understanding. I will try. But as I said, if this my own understanding or the Anumana comes within the circumference of the Sabda Pramana, then you have the space to meditate on that by your own way. Because ultimately we have to use our brain.
With your insight, you all are able to understand the Lord and God's mercy in real and good. And already, thank God with us.